War Eagle Auburn fans, welcome back to another edition of the Jungle Show. We are here back again to talk more Auburn basketball, just like we are after every single game. Here today, we are here to talk about the Auburn versus Ole Miss game. Auburn able to survive the scare from the struggling Rebels by score 78-74 in Neville Arena for their second to last home game of the season and their fourth to last game of the regular season before the SEC tournament play starts. Obviously, this was a must-win game according to Bruce Pearl, especially after the loss at Vandy. But this was a bit of a scare, even though Auburn felt like they were in control of the game for the entirety of the contest. But we're here to talk about it and to do so. Brought in my dad and co-host again. Dad, what are your overall feelings and thoughts about this final score?
I thought we would beat Ole Miss worse than we did.
Yeah,
we did not.
No.
You're right. It felt like we were in charge the entire game.
Yeah.
We did not rebound very well, and that was scary because it seems like they got a bunch of rebounds. They have some athletes on that team. I don't discount Ole Miss. I just thought that that's a team you beat by 20 or 30 like you did Missouri. Yeah. In fact, Missouri's a much better team than Ole Miss is.
For sure.
Ole Miss just fired their coach today, which we figured was coming. But I was hoping that we would beat them more than anything to continue to gain confidence. We talked about that after the Missouri game. We've got the toughest 3-game stretch of the season staring us in the face. And we talked about it pre-show. I think we need to win one of those games to feel confident about the NCAA tournament.
So let's start off the show by talking about the future of this team and what Auburn's going to need to do to be in a good spot come Selection Sunday. So just like you mentioned, the toughest 3-game stretch of the year is right in front of Auburn. At Kentucky on Saturday, which is when you'll be listening to this. You have at Alabama next Wednesday, which that's going to be very, very tough.
Yeah.
And Tennessee at home, who you've already lost to next Saturday. All 3 of those teams are on paper in terms of recruits, in terms of metrics, in terms of
the season
depth, probably better, if not right there with you. I think Kentucky's probably right there with you. I think Tennessee's probably right there with you. I think Alabama's a little ahead, just recruiting wise. I think they had the best recruiting class, the second best recruiting class in the country last year. Okay. So you have a very, very tough road ahead, including 2 road games that are awful. I mean, we haven't beaten Kentucky since Sonny Smith was there, and we haven't. And Alabama is going to be a hard place to win because they're the number 2 team in the country, and then you get Tennessee, who's a very, very good basketball team who just beat Alabama this past week. So
they got swept by Kentucky.
It's very, very tough. And you said you want to win at least one to feel comfortable. As of right now, if Selection Sunday was today, Auburn would be in the tournament as a 9, 10, or 11 seed.
Yes.
Depends on where you're looking at the metrics. The metrics are really, really in favor of this Auburn team due to they're playing well enough to win. If 4 or 5 different plays or go a different direction in this season, you're talking about an Auburn team that we might say is a 4
22
seed.
wins. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why the metrics are in the favor of this team. But that's not going to automatically get them in the tournament. It's going to help them extremely because just like we talked about last episode, you're above teams who have way more wins than you who just aren't playing as well as you, like Virginia, like Kansas State, like TCU, like what was the other one? There was one
Miami.
more, like Miami, who probably are better teams than you.
All 4 of those teams are locks.
Of course, yes, and Virginia has a chance to be a 2 seed. So the metric's going to help you, but you've got to win games. You've got to up the win column. You've got to put games in the win column. And you say you want to feel good on Selection Sunday. Say the SEC tournament doesn't happen. You want to win at least one of these games. Which one are you like keying on? Like, okay, this is the one that I'm most confident in. Auburn. I think there's an easy answer here, but I want to make a case for all three, probably just two of them though. But which one are you? Of course,
so let's do that. Let's make a case for two of them. Tennessee's the easy pick. Yep. It's at home.
Yep.
It's a game that we should have beat them.
Yeah.
If we make layups in that game up there, like simple shots, we win that game.
Yeah.
Kentucky today or tomorrow, which is when you hear this today, it'll be this afternoon, is we haven't won there since 1980 something.
It's just tough to win there. Yeah.
Yes. Now, the potato farmer won at LSU, and we haven't won there since 80 something. So can it be done? Yeah. Bruce is a better coach than the potato farmer ever dreamt of being.
So for people who just don't know what you're talking about,
I'm referring to Brian Harsin winning at football game at LSU that we haven't won in a long time.
Yeah. So your point is streaks of winning at a certain place
can be broken. They're meant to be broken.
Yeah.
This Kentucky team is not that good.
No, I think you're against Florida. Better than that. Yeah.
I watched him play against Florida the other night without Castleton. When did he break his hand, by the way? He's out for the year.
Yeah.
He's on the sideline with a cast on his arm.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, God, this ain't going to be close. And that game came down to the last few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is not good. Offensively, if they get shooting, they're good. And it's Rupp Arena. I mean, I can make a case that we can beat them. But at the end of the day, it's Rupp Arena. There's going to be 19,000, 20,000 people screaming their guts out about how they hate Auburn. If you've ever dealt with Kentucky fans on Twitter, you know how that's true.
Yeah.
And you know the officials are going to give them every benefit of the doubt. It's in Kentucky. It's Lexington, Kentucky. It's Rupp Arena. They're a blue blood. The other game, short of them, well, I think everything has happened possible to kick Brandon Miller out of the league, and he's still playing. So short of them finding another thing for him to be in trouble about, that ain't happening.
So
we're not going to Tuscaloosa.
We're not going to talk about. We're not going to talk about the problems that Alabama has off the field, outside of Darius Miles being kicked off the team because he should be charged with capital murder. But there are other things outside of this whole situation that this Alabama team is struggling with. Turnovers is number one. South Carolina, they went to South Carolina, a place that Auburn just went in and had a field day, and that other bad teams have gone in and just had a field day against, and almost had a quad 4 loss, needed 2 buzzer beaters from Brandon Miller and a 41-point performance to beat a really, really bad South Carolina team. And so they are not an unbelievable. They're not the team that they were 2 weeks ago, in my opinion. They're not the same team that came into Neville Arena. That team was better.
Yeah, no. And the thing is
it's in Coleman Coliseum.
With our team, we're not going to go on the road at Coleman Coliseum and need to shoot the lights out from 3 to beat them. I just don't see it happening.
I think you need to make
anything can happen.
17 threes to win.
Yes, anything can happen, but that's not one that I look forward to. And when I say we need to win one of these next 3, I want to sit down on Selection Sunday and go, what's our seed?
Yeah.
I don't want to sit down on Selection Sunday and go, oh my God, are we going to get in this tournament?
Yeah.
And I know we're higher than teams RPI and Net and ESPN and all that stuff, but ultimately there's a group of people that sit down together in a room for a week and watch the tournaments, and they look at they still, in the 80s, it was always, what's your last 10 games? If we lose all 3 of these, Auburn's last 8-10 games have not been good.
Nope.
Auburn's a good enough team to get into the tournament and to win a game or two if they get the right matchups.
Yeah.
And if Wendell plays well.
Yeah.
And he did the other night. But I just want to feel comfortable. I don't want to. And all I hear is that the SEC's got 8 in. If we've got 8 in, we're in.
We're in. Yeah. No doubt.
Vanderbilt's playing well. Look, A&M may win the league. Alabama's got to.
I will be the biggest. I will be the biggest Texas A&M fan.
Oh, me too.
Not tomorrow, but next Saturday.
I'm a part of the cult next Saturday.
Oh, for sure.
I'm
a yell leader.
I am fired up with those yell leaders yelling and moving their arms and whatever they do. Let's talk about the
game. Let's talk about the Ole Miss game. It was just like I said, Auburn wins by 4, escaping the Ole Miss kind of roar back, and Ole Miss was able to take the lead. Had the lead for a total of 6 minutes of the game, but it still felt like Auburn was just in control for the entirety of the game. And we have talked about big players need to step up in big moments. This wasn't necessarily a big game. Obviously, it was a must-win, but it wasn't like a ranked matchup or anything. But the big-time players for Auburn stepped up when they needed to. And I'm going to talk about 3 players in particular: Wendell, Janai, Jalen. And I've got 3 different reasons for each of those. Wendell Green, how about him attacking the basket?
Yeah.
He shot 1 3 in this game. He missed it. It almost went in. He shot 1, but had 12 shots. He was attacking the basket. He also had 12 free throws. That's if you're going to get that from Wendell, he's going to have success because he also had 4 assists, and he may have had a few. He had 2 turnovers.
2 turnovers and 2 steals, so they wipe each other out, in my opinion.
Sure.
So.
But him attacking the basket offensively was, it put a smile on my face.
Dude, he made some layups that were Kyrie Irving-like.
Mm-hmm.
When he attacks and doesn't stop. Sometimes in the Vanderbilt game, he would attack and get to about 5 feet and stop. And at that point, they swallow him. But look, and these Ole Miss guards are not short. They're big guards. And he was able to attack them. He was able to put his body in there. There were 2 times that he got either the rebound on the defensive end
just went all the way.
And dribbled all the way down, lining up. Yeah. And I was like, dude, that reminds me of Jared Harper.
I haven't seen that since Jared Harper. I saw that maybe once or twice with Wendell last year, but that was Jared Harper. And when Jared would, just like you were saying, Jared would never stop and try and step back and look or try and pass. Jared, when he attacked, he was not going to stop and he was going to score.
Mm-hmm.
Wendell looked like he had that mindset for the first time ever in this game. And if he can continue that mindset, he's going to be more successful. He's going to get outside shots because those are going to come, especially if they play him at the 2 with Trey. I think that would be amazing. But him attacking the basket in this game was beautiful, and it was a game changer.
It was. It absolutely is, because he's going to draw the big. If he can draw the big, and he doesn't have to shoot it at that point, he can find Janai or Dylan. But those 2 times when he went coast to coast and laid it up, I felt like I was watching the Auburn, North Carolina game when Kobe White for Carolina and Jared Harper were just back and forth. It was like a NASCAR race or something.
Yeah.
And so I agree with you. And look, he had 4 assists, 2 turnovers, but he had 2 steals. Again, in my opinion, if you turn the ball over twice, but you take it from him twice, it kind of is a wash.
Yeah. So the next player I want to talk about is Janai. I think if you just look at Janai's stat line in this game, that is self-explanatory. 19 points on 8 of 13 for shooting. He had 8 rebounds and 6 blocks. If you get that from Janai, that works. I'll take that every single game from Janai, especially when he buries a 3 and goes 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Which, as a side note, and we'll finish talking about Janai here in just a second, Auburn goes 92% from the free throw line in this game, 22 of 24. Holy crap. That is Special.
It won the game.
Yeah.
And a lot of those were Wendell. Again, he's one of the best closers in the game. And he struggled from the line the last couple of games, but he did not in this one. And you're right. 92%. Shoot, you'd take that every game.
Absolutely.
I'd take 82%.
Yeah.
I'd take 75% every game. We don't always shoot this well. We had the right guys shooting free throws.
That's right.
Our best free throw shooters shot free throws. So, but let me say something about Janai, sorry. Yeah. He didn't have a turnover. Against Vanderbilt, I think he had 4 or 5.
Yeah, well, he's become turnover prone when he turns and faces and looks at the opposite end.
Gets doubled.
And when he gets doubled, he kind of panics a little bit. That's never something that Walker or other centers had to deal with because that wasn't their play style. We weren't going to throw the ball to Walker in the post and
let him go to work.
Let him go to work. With Janai, teams can double him, and Janai is very, very good at passing out and looking for his man, and is a good passer. He had 3 assists in this game, but to see him not have any turnovers was very, very good because he has become turnover prone. It's just another reason why if you just look at his stat line, you could – I mean, obviously, I think Wendell's the player of the game, but you can argue for Janai because not only was he efficient on offense, but he was unbelievable on the defensive end.
Yeah, he had a great game, and look, he only shot 2 free throws. He made them both, but at the beginning of the year, I was like, "This is like Shaq. He can't make a free throw to save his life." And he's gotten. Somebody's been doing work with him at the free throw line and
the 3-point line. His 3-pointer was beautiful.
His 3-pointer was perfect.
Yeah,
they were not going to come guard him, and he was like, "Oh well, all right, knock this down." And it was perfect. It was good the whole way.
Yeah. So the third guy I want to talk about is Jalen. And if you look at the stat line, you could argue for Allen here at this position because Allen had 6 rebounds, had 5 assists, 11 points. Allen played really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen was plus 16 in a game we won by 4 because he had 12 points. He only had 3 misses from his 7 shots. All 3 of those misses were heat check 3-pointers because he buried 2 straight. He had 1 assist, 1 rebound, 1 steal, but he was just doing everything right. But I have one thing to pick on Jalen for.
I do too.
Yeah, I know it's the same thing. I know it is because we talked about this while we were watching the game. I called you after Jalen passed a wide open 3 to Wendell, who then drove in and got fouled.
We didn't score.
We didn't score on the possession, but Jalen had a wide open 3, and then he did it again on the next possession. Just passed it up. He's wide open. He caught it, looked, saw he was open, and passed it.
Can't do that.
We can't do that anymore. He cannot do that. From now on, especially entering this last 3 games and then tournament play, he cannot pass up those because he is our best 3-point shooter, whether that's percentage-wise or total makes-wise. He's got to shoot. And not only does he have to shoot, he has to attack the basket too, because there were 2 times in this game that he attacked the basket and it was beautiful. And he had a beautiful finish. He made those 2 straight threes and tried to hit 2 heat checks afterwards. That's 2 misses. We'll take that. If there are 2 players on here that I want shooting heat check threes, Wendell and Jalen.
Mm-hmm. So I agree with you. That was one thing. My worry with Jalen right now.
He's not aggressive enough.
And it's happened twice in a row. He's come out in the first half and destroyed people, and come out in the second half and had 2 points. Mm-hmm. Either we've got to find a way to get him the ball early in the second half to get him rolling again, or he's got to, like you said,
be more aggressive. Take
that shot. And in the second half, either drive it to the hole and get fouled. He's a great free throw shooter, or shoot that shot that he's wide open. Yeah. So I can't have him disappearing at halftime because then more stuff falls on Wendell. And that's going to lead me to my issue with the game. Okay. We got 9 points from our 2 guard. Zep hit a 3. It's beautiful.
So did KD.
KD hit a 3. Beautiful. 9 points from your 2 guard. Your shooting guard is not good enough. It's just not. I don't know. I'm like you. I'd love to see Trey play the 1 and Wynn play the 2 and see if we can get Trey.
Because if that's the
Trey's
case,
a good player and can score the ball.
You got what? 31 points from your shooting guard?
Yeah, and then the point guard wouldn't produce a lot at that point.
Point guard had 2.
But 9 points from the shooting guard.
That number needs to be between 18 and 25
every game.
Yeah.
If to combine the 2 guys that play shooting guard, 18 to 25.
You can throw Trey in there too. Backcourt outside of Wynn. You can throw Lior in there too.
Yeah.
You had 11 points from those guys outside of Wynn.
Yeah, because Trey had a nice game. He played well. He had an assist.
A nice bucket.
He was -5. I don't know how, but he's -5. But I think if you gave him more than 7 minutes at the point,
and let Wendell run the 2.
And let Wendell play the 2. Look, again, next game my coach will be my first. And Bruce is when he gets kind of locked in this time of year, he gets locked in. I don't expect to see Trey play the 1 and Wendell play the 2 much more. We saw it in the A&M game. Unless it's a matchup that he likes somehow, I don't expect it. I need more from our 2 guard. We've got to score more we've got to get more from our guards than Wynn Green.
Yeah.
Because every once in a while, Wynn Green has a bad game, Vanderbilt, and we lose.
That's right. You just got to have more. You've got to have more consistency from that 2 guard as well, because it's just, and I was talking to you during the game. I was just like, Zep's offense is catch the ball, turn around, bend over, and wait till somebody else can go get the ball.
Mm-hmm. Or pass it immediately.
Or pass it
the minute it touches his hand.
And I understand he provides such an invaluable presence on the defensive end and in the leadership aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he's not a 2 guard.
He had 5 points and 1 turnover. Those are his only 2 places that he did anything.
He's not a 2 guard.
No. I don't think he ever was.
No, he played 1 at
he was the one
Charleston, and he played 1 last year. He was the starting point guard last year for us and was really, really good.
Yeah.
Had some games where he was offensively really, really good.
Yeah.
He also had some front court help that is currently tearing up the NBA.
Yeah, both of them, yeah.
Yeah, so.
I just need to see more from our 2 guard. We got, what did Allen end up with? Allen ended up with 11 and 6 with 5 assists and 2 turnovers. Not bad. That's not.
He's just got to be more efficient shooting wise.
Yeah.
He has been.
He has some nice moves. He shoots the free throws well. He's 4-4 from free throw line. Allen has improved significantly over where he was last year.
No doubt. He fits more in this team than he did last year's team.
Absolutely. And again, I think they were really depending on what's his name, the point guard freshman.
Chance Westry.
I think they really thought we've got something special. This will really help take minutes off of Wynn's shoulders.
Yeah.
Help our backcourt scoring. And he's hurt.
You can't do anything about that.
There's nothing you can do. It's what happens in basketball. But anyway.
You're right. So we'll go ahead and wrap this edition of the Jungle Show up. If you want to find either of us on Twitter, go to @GrayOldenburg or go to @WarEagleHoops.
Hang on. Yours is wrong.
I know.
Don't put the L. At
Don't
the
put
end
the
of
L. I don't know why that says that. I don't know. I got to fix that. That is weird. I don't know when
That's
that
right
would have
there.
gotten on there. That's so weird. But or go to @War Eagle Hoops or go to @The Auburn Daily to find the stuff at auburndaily.com. We'll be back early next week to discuss the Kentucky game and to preview the last two of Alabama and Tennessee next week.
Come on, Auburn, beat the Cats,
This would be a
please.
special win if you can beat
Please.
Kentucky.
I will
Today.
be
It will be today.
insufferable on Twitter if you beat the Cats.
Oh,
I will
man.
be insufferable.
This
on
would be
Twitter.
great.
Join
go
me
ahead.
here if we beat the Cats.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, but we'll get out of here.
All
Thank
right.
y'all for listening. War Eagle.
Where are you